Come on.
The battle inside college football is over more than profits.
That's what you gonna tell the coach?
Athletes want their safety concerns addressed.
You gonna play?
Adrian Arrington's career at Eastern Illinois University did not lead to the NFL. In fact, due to his health problems, Adrian can't hold down a job at all.
Did they teach you how to hit safely?
In college, I never had no drills on like where you gotta form, tackle, and do like, stuff like that. But
did they ever talk to you about how to hit people safely?
After my concussion and things like that, I've never had nobody like, "Oh, Adrian, you need to stop hitting like this," or nothing like that.
Noel Lucero met Adrian in college when his concussions began to trigger seizures.
To be honest, I don't even remember the first time because there's been so many, but he had one in our bed, and at the time, we had nightstands on either side, and he was having one, and he fell off and hit his shoulder on the nightstand, and his head was banging on the nightstand while he was having the seizure, so I'm moving everything out of the way and just trying to put towels under his head, and he had bit his lip, so it was bleeding.
Adrian is the lead plaintiff in a class action lawsuit seeking damages from the NCAA. He owes more than $100,000 in medical bills.
All right.
The NCAA has not offered Adrian long-term medical care.
When it was really going on in college, I honestly thought I was losing my mind. I honestly thought I was losing my mind because I would never remember that. People would come to me, "You know you got in a bar fight?" I'm like, "What is you talking about?" Like, I don't remember that. Like most of the time when I had seizures and stuff, I don't remember the situation, but when people come up and say certain stuff to me, it's like, ooh, this is really scary. Like, this is crazy.
Back to the days of Roosevelt, really, when the NCAA was first created, there's this mandate of protecting the student athlete and safeguarding the health and well-being of the student athlete.
His lawyer, Joe Siprit, says safety concerns inside college football are nothing new.
So we're basically saying, well, wait a minute, what happened to that idea?
Excuse me, how you doing? Jamie told me to come in between 10 and 11. Okay.
According to the NCAA, more than a third of all concussions in college sports happen on the football field.
This is the most people I've seen in here.
The NCAA denies it is legally responsible for the long-term safety of college athletes. It claims the schools are liable. Schools like Adrian's alma mater, Eastern Illinois.
That coach came to my house and sat down at my house and told my mom and my daddy, "We want your kid to come to this school. We're going to take care of your child."
So football really was your gateway to a four-year degree?
Mm-hmm. And that's why I worked so hard at football, because coming from a family that didn't have much and living in homeless shelter, living in housing authority, I felt like that was going to be the only way I can just pay for college on my own and not stress my parents out.
You were pretty successful at Eastern Illinois, right?
Mm-hmm. I was a captain, you know what I'm saying? I felt that I did whatever my coaches wanted to do in terms of a player. And I was having a good time at Eastern until my concussions and the bad health situations came up.
Did you talk to the coaching staff?
Yeah, I talked to the coaching staff, and they just said, take a couple, when you come back in a few days, you'll be fine. You know what I'm saying? Take these pills called Keppra, and then they just said, as long as you take your medicine, you'll be allowed to play. But this still kept going on throughout my career.
He had head injury after head injury after head injury, and each time he was involved in situations where the coaches didn't pull him out of the game. He was put back in, where his own father pulled him off on the sidelines and said, "Adrian, are you okay?" Didn't even recognize him. He was still ready to go back in the game and play.
Were the coaches going to put you back in the game?
Mm-hmm. They was going to put me back in the game. And my dad had to come from the bleachers, they say, and tell them not to put me back in the game.
That's how impaired he was. And so that happened a few too many times. So that just tends to be my...
When Arrington played, the NCAA had no specific return-to-play rule,
probably because of
requiring schools to keep players with concussions on the sidelines.
It takes at least 3 or 4 hours, it said, for the symptoms of a concussion to heal, and oftentimes much more than that. The interesting thing about that is that last time I checked, the football game was 3 or 4 hours. So what that alone means is that there are really no circumstances in which someone who has sustained a concussion during a game can ever go back in during the game.
Did Eastern Illinois have a protocol or requirements in place?
It couldn't have been a protocol if I get a concussion in the game and you put me right back in the game to where my dad has to take me out of the game and not you guys. It can't be a protocol.
But that changed after Arrington graduated. In 2010, the NCAA required schools to develop guidelines for concussion safety. But Arrington's suit alleges that this safety mandate was designed to be weak.
Some of these emails are kind of shocking, and I would call them smoking guns.
Internal NCAA emails show former head of safety David Klossner pushing for more stringent safety rules and facing pushback from inside the organization.
Very interesting email here again from David Klossner, where he says, return same-day issues seems to be our biggest barrier. I have yet to find legitimate data to show same-day return to play is a good thing.
Klossner's the one in here that keeps bringing up the idea of rules about returning to play and about the safety of this and what an issue it is.
I've been pretty busy with work getting ready for meetings and trying to get Dave Klossner off my back. That dude wears me out.
So the one guy that's raising the red flag here is getting shut out?
Shut down, suppressed, and criticized.
I think it's a big lie and a big facade that the NCAA is putting on to say that we are here with the commercials they have on every day. We here, our main priority is the student athletes and their health. That's a lie.
The NCAA has not investigated any school for violating its safety rules.
At least in the case of the NFL players, they're professional athletes who are being paid millions of dollars, and they have lawyers, they have agents, they have a union, they have all sorts of people protecting their interests vis-a-vis, the NFL in the ownership. At the college level, the players have none of that.
The NCAA says student-athlete safety is a priority and is in settlement talks with Adrian's lawyers.
I just pray it doesn't get worse. Looking at these other football players, they had similar injuries. I don't want him to get Alzheimer's when he's 35 or, it's just I try not to think about it.